All right, I stopped it. I just started it again, so we'll start over. Red Scare, Cat Scare.
Yeah, so there was a big part where like we were going all throughout our government trying to find out like where the communists were coming from because we could tell that they were already infiltrating our government at that point.
Hmm.
So I don't know how much you know about like what preceded Hitler in Germany.
Like Weimar
What do you,
Republic. Yeah.
what do you know about Germany? Like I think like you probably are probably more informed about it. I just remember the narrative of it. Could you tell me about Weimar Germany?
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty much just like liberal Jewish communist subversion, in the similar way that we're seeing it now. Like just just destroy a society from within using cultural subversion, media subversion. Using all the money tactics. Like it was pretty much on the verge of that. That hyperinflation, shitty work. Terrible working conditions or no jobs at all. Just all kinds of degeneracy. Yeah, I mean, you asked me about Walmart Germany. I look at USA today.
And I can't help but agree with that, right? Like they say it's a pendulum, like history operates on a pendulum. It goes back and forth and back and forth. And like the entire purpose of like America was that we were trying to hone that point so we didn't have to pendulum. We just speared through it.
Hmm.
And that's what made America so great initially is like they didn't pendulum, they shot forward with compromise. They looked at both sides of the argument and they tried to decide like, well, what's both for everybody? Or
Hmm.
what's best for everybody? But we're getting more and more away from that.
Yeah.
We're getting way, way, way far away from like trying to tell what's good for everybody. It's all by it, kind of drunk, kind of high. It's too bipartisan. Like people don't want to compromise anymore. They want it's my way or no way.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, polarization definitely a problem. So when you talk about penduluming or a pendulum or a spear, like what do you mean? In what way did we spear forward? Like what? Like how do you mean? Like you say history, society's pendulum, like between what? Like liberal and right, or like progress and what's the pendulum?
Well, you're familiar with like the political compass, right?
Yeah, left, right, yeah,
I
or
mean, like if you're gonna look at it from that perspective, it just goes around the entire circle.
yeah. I like this idea. The good times make weak men make bad times make strong men make good times. I like that kind of like cycle of society. It's pretty simplified, but I like it. I think it's relevant.
So like, which generation was the weak men? Was it the
Ours,
millennials?
yeah. Well,
Was it Gen X?
it's
Was it
definitely
the
definitely
boomers? Like what?
definitely millennials. Definitely millennials. Definitely millennials.
Why wasn't it the boomers? Do you think those were the strong men,
That's a good point.
or they were
Like
just having fun?
I think they were just really benefiting the good times. Like I think X and Boomers were like just reaping the good times. I think, yeah,
Yeah.
because that was like 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. That's like,
So
yeah,
so the
Boomers and X.
Zoomers are supposed to save us, right?
That's the idea. That's something me and my wife were talking about earlier. They're
You
like,
think the Zoomers are gonna save us?
I put hope in that just because millennials are all liberalized, are all fucking brain dead, and so like we just got to keep investing in newer generations and hoping that we can, hopefully that they will use technology to become aware of what's going on.
Do you have any idea of the level that like we've been manipulated by the internet?
Hmm. Do I have any idea? I mean,
Like how
yeah.
much of a powerful impact that has had to change society in such a revolutionary way that like 30 years ago like is almost like looking back from 1980 to like 19 fucking 23.
It's not specific, but yeah, yeah, yeah. It's huge. It's fucking huge. Internet, man. Post-internet. Zoomers growing up with the internet. Millennials, only on the hind end of millennials, really grew up with the internet like hardcore. It's Zoomers,
Okay,
baby.
here's a question here's a topic that I saw a couple of videos about on YouTube recently. It might pop up in your feed if you look at that at all, but like they say that more girls are having mental illness now and like the biggest contributor to that is TikTok.
Oh God. Why TikTok in particular, not like Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, everything else? Like
So
what?
there's girls that like okay, so you know how if you're a white girl, like what do you have? In the scale of like I'm not black, I'm not I'm not pressed,
You
right?
have you
Like so
have
you look for
privilege.
mental illness. No, no, no. You have to look for a mental illness to have. If you have a mental illness now, you are also marginalized. And so all these girls are getting on TikTok, ones with and arguably either legitimate or illegitimate mental illnesses, and they're getting famous. Hundreds of millions of views off these girls who are like showing mental illnesses, and now all the girls are like copying them.
Oh God. It's like this. I mean, it's just a trickling down of like the leftist mentality, like the victim mentality. Like they wear mental illnesses like badges and think that it gives them like more privilege and all this shit. It's wild. That in itself is a
Well,
mental
that's why
illness.
most kids identify as bisexual now. Like I'm sure that before like the last like 2 to 4 years, like 4% of people were like identifying as like non-heterosexual, but now it's up to like 14% for kids under 15.
That's disgusting because yeah, they're like being brainwashed into thinking like, well, they don't know, they're not sure, they're still figuring shit out. So someone comes along and keeps bombarding them with this shit like everyone's on the spectrum and you might be bisexual. And they're like, well, shit, I don't know, you know, I don't
Do you
know.
remember that kid who Did you hear about that thing in Texas with like that kid, his mom and their dad were getting a divorce because his mom wanted to convert their son into a girl and the dad was like, "You're not doing this." And like he's like, "I'm divorcing you and like I'm going to tell the court that you're crazy."
Yeah, I remember that. I
My
think I remember. Yeah.
Do you know what ended up happening with that?
I don't.
That fell off the radar for a lot of people. Guess what? Like now the son is getting converted into a girl. They're gonna have a fucking surgery for this kid in Texas. They're gonna take his penis off as like a fucking 9-year-old, and he has to pay for it.
Hmm, disgusting. Oh,
That's how that ended.
yeah,
That's how that ended.
yeah. So what do we do about it? How do all this degeneracy, all this corruption? What do we do about it? How do we balance this? I don't want to just go down a total
What's
depression
crazy?
hole.
What's crazy to me is like what created America, like one of the most like fucking influential countries, the most influential country on the face of the planet that we've ever seen. We
Hmm.
went to the fucking moon.
Hmm.
We put men on the moon. No other country has done that.
Russia has, haven't they?
I don't know how we went from that to like now I'm trying to argue about like what do we do about this sort of thing? Like they threw tea in the fucking harbor because they were upset about taxes. I'm upset about going to the store and paying $7 for a pound of fucking 73% lean.
Yeah,
We need to be pissed off.
yeah. My saying that I've developed is get informed, get mad, get involved. That's become my mantra. Yeah, it's pretty simple, and I agree. Get mad, get involved. Like we've been mad for so long that we've kind of chilled out a little bit, and we're just waiting on trying to get other people riled up, and we're ready to go. I could just flip a switch and go Alex Jones in like fucking 10 seconds, man. I'm ready. What else do we do
It
though?
would be nice.
Yeah, I mean, like we know we've talked. We spent hours
You need
talking
to
about
be
like the
informed yourself. You need to be informed yourself. If you don't know how to argue against people, like what are you gonna say? Like most people, the problem is like they hear a news bit and then they'll fucking just parrot shit.
Yeah,
You're
I
no better
agree.
than anybody else at
Yeah,
this
I
point.
think I
You
think that we
can't
need
think
to
for yourself.
I think that we need to
They don't
start.
teach thinking in schools anymore.
I think we need to confront the opposition. And honestly, like I have like one person on my feed that's like trans positive and like liberal and stuff, and like I'm always constantly like arguing. But that's Facebook. Like I need to actually confront and talk to people, get more active. But one of the conversations we had was like genetics. Like they were like I wanted to loop back to this idea of like all these mental illnesses, and they're like, oh, they wear them as badges and they think it's genetic. They don't try to fix it at all. They don't look at anything as something they can overcome or solve. It's all about here. I'm the victim of reality. I have genetic problems. Blah blah blah. It's like I'm not put up with that shit. Like cull the herd. If you can't be fixed and you don't want to do something better, no, we're not gonna weaken everybody. Um, if I wanted to mention another thing too. I don't know if you've seen me post about Dune, but Dune is Dune the movie just came out and it's obviously based on this like book series saga that came out around the same time as Star Wars. It's actually really fucking based, really based. Like one of the things about it that I noticed is like there's this scene where there's they move to a desert planet and they bring these trees there and they're watering the trees and he's like, well, these aren't native here and they wouldn't survive without a ton of water. And on this desert planet, water is super valuable. So he's like, the water that it takes to water these trees is what 100 people would drink. But they don't say like, oh, well, we should get rid of the trees. He's like, no. He's like, it's important. It's a part of our culture. It's
It's an investment.
exactly. And I believe in that. It's very much along the lines of this like living space idea, which where that came from. But it's like we know that
One
this.
of the most Can I interrupt you for a
Yeah, go
second?
ahead. Go ahead. Yeah.
One of the most powerful things that I ever heard from my grandfather was the idea of 7 generations.
Hmm.
Like that was apparently one of the values of like the Oneida tribe was like anything that you do, you should think how it's going to impact the next 7 generations.
Yeah, I agree, or even more, man. Yeah, for sure. Think about the future.
And like people don't think about that anymore. They're so focused on themselves.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to Dune though. Like this guy's watering the trees.
Yeah, so I mean, basically, it's just this idea of like we shouldn't sacrifice these things in nature and all this stuff for 100 people, because then those 100 people who have water are just gonna have much more kids, and then you're gonna be back at this. You're gonna be back to the same issue. You're gonna be constantly compromising more values. Everything's gonna become more degenerate, and then society's just gonna consume itself, right? That's the whole thread. But anyway, I just wanted to mention that Dune is really based. I've been getting into it. They talk about like bloodlines and genetics and these cultural values and great houses, all this cool stuff. Love it. Um, but to pivot a little bit, we're on this theme of like, what can we do? What can we do? And we talk about these people around us. Like, look at the people that we interact with, either on Facebook or in real life. Like, what's going on in their head? How can we engage with people? How can we get people interested in this stuff and active? Most people just want to put their head in the sand. How do we combat that?
So I don't care who anybody is. I generally see people speaking out about something politically at some point.
Yeah.
And that's when you engage them. When they're willing to be political, you don't have to like be too harsh on them. You don't have to like attack them like fucking go full raging pitbull on them or
Yeah,
anything like
something
that. But
affects
you can
everybody.
engage them politically. Everybody is going to bring up something political at some point. You can push
That's true.
back against that.
That's true.
And like you can play devil's advocate sometimes too and really see how far they're willing to go. If they say something that's like Republican, you can be like, well, here's a Democratic opinion. You know how they think.
Yeah.
You know how the Democrats think. Push back against people if they bring up political things, but like be patient with it.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
You don't have to shove it down people's throat. You
I
don't have to go Alex Jones.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what degree do I want to go digital versus like IRL. Like what forms of engaging people IRL that it would be effective versus just like what engaging people digitally. I think there's benefits to both, and there's
Why is it so important for you to have a direct plan? Like we've been doing this for a little while and it's like been on and off and like people watch it. Maybe just a couple people. We're still reaching people.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I like it. It's just like the idea of like, for example, how do we let's get more people that are interested in doing this kind of thing, and we could have more formal debates and stuff. And there's a lot of directions we could go with it to pick it up. And that, I mean, that's a good point. Like we've had a steady pace and we've been doing good. Just like I talk to people, share memes and stuff. But a lot of times I'm looking to pump it up to the next level. And what better time than whenever you're talking with someone else who's feeling the same way? It's like we get each other hyped up and fucking bring the accountability in too. And I
The
think
way
that's
I look at it is like if you got the energy for it and you got a good idea, just run it.
hell yeah.
It's gonna come and go. It's the same thing with anything else. Like there was a post that I saw earlier today. This guy said like if you need something to vent about, like let us know. And like everybody, I was just like, you don't know why you're like feeling this way about this situation, but there's probably something else going on that you're not taking care of. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
like people were saying like I don't want to draw, I don't want to write music, this and that. No creative aspect of it, which was surprising to me. There was only like 6 posts, but everybody said like their creativity was gone. I was just like, well, maybe there's something that's distracting you from that you're not dealing with.
Or maybe there's something you're called to. I made that painting for our anniversary, and one of my friends who's known me for a while was like, I didn't even know you painted, and I'm like, I'm really good at it, but yeah, I mean, I felt called to do other things, and that's what happens. A lot of people, and what I used to do is force myself and beat myself against the wall trying to force myself to paint, but then I just kind of was like, I don't need to. I'm the reason I'm struggling with motivation is because I'm motivated to do other things, which is to get political, get informed, yada yada yada. So
Just do whatever it directs you towards.
yeah,
I think it's like important to stay well maintained, like try to hit all whatever areas, like I paint a little bit every day. I like write a couple lyrics every day.
yeah,
Like
yeah. I
but
agree.
like do
I
whatever
agree.
you're driven towards. You don't have to like make yourself feel bad just because you're not in the mood for something.
Hell yeah. What are you driven towards? Like, do you have like a? Because I'm like in between projects. I'll come and go with different projects and stuff, but I like to like stay focused on something. But like, do you think about it in terms of that? Obviously, like you have a job and like relationships and hobbies and stuff like that. But do you see a slot outside of that, that is like, a higher calling or like a project or a drive. Does that make sense?
I'm not gonna get the vaccine, and like I'm not gonna wear a mask at work.
So is
Like
that, yeah.
I've drawn my line in the sand, and then, like I'm gonna speak out, and like I'm gonna tell people how I feel, and like stand up for myself, and like whatever direction that goes in, like that's what's gonna happen. Like I said, I've drawn my line in the sand.
Yeah, it's kind of tough because like, and there's a lot of things in society where compromises have to happen. Like for me, like college, it sucked ass, but this whole society values it. So at some point, it was like whatever. Like yeah, it's gonna be. And sometimes I feel that way about vaccines. I'm like, I mean, I hate to feel like it, but it's like sometimes it could be, they may not be that bad. There's several companies, blah blah blah. But I just don't like it because if this one's not bad, then the next one will be. And like, did you see the thing about the music video that the guy made as a parody to the Let's Go Brandon got taken down because it had medical misinformation in it. And the only thing he said about that was just like, I'm not getting the shot or something like that, or I'm not going to catch COVID, is all he said in this. And they took down his whole video. It's like some, man, it fucking pisses me off.
Yeah, I saw a video from like Mr. Rogan about it just this morning. I didn't watch the whole
I
thing,
need
but
to
yeah, I
watch more
saw
Joe
that was
Rogan.
taken down.
I need to watch more of the Roganator. I need to watch more stuff, but I think like us
Well,
doing
no,
stuff like
no, okay,
this.
so like there's Joe Rogan, but who I was talking about was Mr. Rogan.
Oh, really? It's
He
somebody
has like,
different.
yeah, he has like a Russian wife or some
Oh
shit. I
wow,
think he bought him online. Yeah,
that's
he's
so
a
funny.
completely different guy.
That's so funny, Mister.
But yeah, he was talking about how that video got taken off, and it was because of the vaccine misinformation. They'll tell anybody who's being negative about the idea of getting the vaccine offline if they can.
Yeah, yeah, they'll echo chamber you. I feel so like futile on Facebook a lot of times. I'm like, my shit's getting echo chamber, but I still have a decent reach. Like I still, you know, I still
I
hit,
still
hit
think
some
that
people.
most people haven't gotten it.
Yeah. Are you talking about the vaccine?
Yeah. Like, look at how many people showed up in these stadiums and they're chanting "fuck Joe Biden."
Yeah. Let's go, Brandon.
You think they have the vaccine?
Yeah. No, I don't. I don't think so.
No, I don't either.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. It's just like whenever Joe Biden got elected, it's like the idea that no one was going to his rallies, like, and no one probably voted for him either. It's just like fucking, it's all
He
staged.
cheated. Everybody knows he fucking cheated.
Yeah, it's crazy. What are we gonna do about it? What are we gonna do? What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen?
You just wait. Like, just keep spreading information. Let everybody get informed, and like what will naturally happen will naturally happen. Like, I didn't have to do anything for like what happened at Boeing to happen.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's the ongoing effort is just have conversations, stay informed. You know, get other people involved, get involved yourself. It's a slow process, but
You know,
it's a good
and if
effort.
the opportunity presents itself and it doesn't feel like a bunch of glow niggers, maybe I'll do something. I already told you about I think I got really fucked up one night a couple weeks ago and told you what I started to do.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
You don't have to,
Yeah, I don't know
and
if I want.
we don't have to talk about it again
Yeah, I don't
either.
know if I want to go into it. I mean, it's interesting. I may think on it more, but no, it's interesting. And I mean, I guess some of what I'm trying to think of what I've been thinking about recently. Like,
Did
what's on
you
the
see what happened in
forefront
front of Netflix?
with what Dave Chappelle or what?
Yeah, there was like counter protesters and like I don't know if they were like identifying as Antifa, but like there was people who were like trannies and they're like take Dave Chappelle off Netflix and like there was a bunch of counter protesters, Republicans and shit who showed up who were like jokes are
Yeah,
funny.
good, good. That's fucking awesome. Hell yeah.
Yeah, but it got kind of violent.
Oh man, really? What happened? Just people started
It
fighting.
some guy like tore up somebody else's sign and like dude was trying to flex on him and shit. Nothing bad happened, but it seemed like it was a genuine clash,
That's good.
not like FBI funded.
That's pretty healthy. I think it's healthy. Fuck it, just let them fight. Yeah, I
I
looked
just
at
think it's
this.
weird that that's like something that actually got Republicans off their ass was Dave Chappelle.
I know, right? The black white
Some
supremacists.
black guy who's like, I'm edgy, and he's not even really that edgy.
Well, yeah,
I didn't
he
even
really was. He
listen
was so
to
much more like toned down and apologetic. He was like, my real enemy. He's like, I'm not enemies with LGBT. I really just hate white people. You know, it's like, come on, man. Like, don't pussy out. Like, but he did say some good stuff, and I think this is honestly a turning point. I think the fact that Netflix, well, at first they
I
kind
think
of
it's a
stood.
barometer.
I think they stood behind him and they were like, we're not going to take him down. But then the co CEO or whatever the fuck was like a
They did
pussy.
take him down.
Yeah. Oh, did they really? Did they take it off?
Yeah, it's off.
Oh, no fucking way, dude.
Yeah, they folded and like that. It was all choreographed.
That's
How
crazy.
did you not think that that was the way it was gonna go? Did you hear about that fucking girl who got fired for storming into one of their meetings or whatever? I guarantee she gets hired back on and then like gets a
Yeah,
promotion.
that's crazy, man.
I gotta figure out her name and check in on her in about a year and see what happened with that. Because like they're
Yeah.
that slow as shit. They're
Yeah,
that slow as shit.
like that's what I thought. Like I thought it could be a turning point.
2021 and I am forgotten.
Yeah,
Huh?
yeah. I think, yeah, like I said, I thought it was a turning point. But the forces that be will definitely don't want people to gain momentum in that direction. Like they don't want to see that cancel culture is dying off, that its effects aren't as strong. So at some level, they're going to threaten Netflix. They're going to say, hey, we're going to threaten you, or like monetization, or business partnerships, or sponsorships, or shit. They probably threaten their families or something. It's crazy. Like they're going to get you on some level, like silver or lead. It's some real gang shit going on.
Have you seen the riots in Australia?
No, I haven't. I've heard some about it, not too much.
You haven't seen any of the videos?
No, man.
You should visit 4chan again for a little bit. Ask about it.
Interesting. Yeah, I will. I check in every now and then. It's a lot of the same stuff, but yeah,
Out
there's
of
usually.
every, surprisingly, out of every planet, one of the most strictest places on the planet right now is Australia as far as COVID shit.
Yeah, they've been really locked down. Plus, they had the whole thing with the news censorship and Facebook, which I think kind of got reverted. But yeah, I don't know, man.
What I'd really like to know is what the fuck is going on in China.
Oh God, that's the whole thing. Oh yeah,
It's
China's
been
about to hit
two
the
years
fan.
and there's not been a word out of them.
Yeah, they're
Not
they're.
a single
That,
fucking
that,
word. They just launched a fucking missile. That was it. That's all we know about what's going on in China. Is
yeah,
they
it's
just
fucking.
launched a fucking nuclear missile that we can't stop.
Well, they might. What's funny is like, yeah, their economy is like going to shit, but that would be one thing that would probably like get their shit together. Is just pour all your military, like while you're on top, just pour all your shit into military and use that to stimulate your economy and just go hard. Like fuck it, it might get crazy. Like I doubt they'll just go down without a fight when it comes like
I still want Fallout 3 to be like pre-programming.
what do you mean?
Will they ready you for these kinds of concepts? Sign up for your room in the vault today.
Sign up for your room. I don't know
It's
that.
good to live.
Do
It's
you
good to
want
live
it?
in pods and eat bugs. We're gonna be underground because the entire surface of the Earth will be a nuclear wasteland.
Yeah, honestly, if we go nuclear, I don't know that I want. I don't want to live in a pod. I don't want to live underground, and I don't know that I want to survive. I'd rather just the next evolution take over. Like humanity fucked up. We blew it. Just let the fucking cockroaches evolve and become smart, and let them have a try at it. If we fuck up that bad, if we go nuclear, I'm not trying to live a depressed fucking no. Fuck that. I
Why
believe,
would you let it get that bad?
huh?
Why
Well,
would you let it get that bad?
well, I don't want to let it get that bad. I certainly am going to do everything in my power to do that, but there are forces outside of our control. There's someone who can push that button. It's a crazy world. Crazy world. That's something I struggle with a lot. Is like the lack of control. Just like being at the whim of these forces, whatever they be, whether it's corrupt people or sociological forces or fucking alien forces. Who knows? Who fucking knows?
Go to the Georgia guides.
I have been there. Yeah, it's been years, but I have been there. Yeah, it's not too far away.
Oh, wait, that's right. That's where you live, huh?
Sorry, you're kind of cutting
Hey,
out a
you
little.
should go out there. Could you go out? Oh,
Yeah, I can.
that you live in Georgia.
Yeah, it's not far away. Like I've been out there, but it is. Well, it is. It actually is. It's kind of like 3 hours away or so, like 3.5 hours. But I've been out there before because It's right over by. It's near the University of Georgia over in Athens, where I had some friends. So I went there with a friend one
You
time.
think maybe next summer you could go out there and send me a video of it?
I mean, you know everything about it from like online. Like you can see what they say and stuff. I mean, what do you just want to live virtually through me and just whack off to the video?
Yeah, I'm trying to, yeah, burg off of that.
I doubt there's even a good signal out there. It's out in the boonies. It's out, well, not too far in the boonies, but it is interesting though. It's a cool little artifact. I wonder who put it there.
What do you think about what it says?
I Yeah, I don't know. It almost feels like more of like a crop circle kind of thing. Like someone with enough money and just a little bit of conspiracy just put it together as like a. I think that's what I think. I don't think it's like a Q level, like someone with like really inside information or something crazy. But who knows?
How old is it?
There's a lot of wealthy people out there. I don't think it's more than like 15 years old. I think it's been in the last 10 years. Honestly, it's pretty recent that they put them out there. But it just basically
So
says,
you
it's
can
just
say
like
that
it's like
when it says
population,
something like
huh?
you
I think it's cool.
It means something.
Well, it is what they are. The guidestones just got into different languages. It says, hey, live, protect the earth, keep the populations low, you know, whatever. What else does it say? It's just like basic shit about booging out or preserving
Yeah, when are
humanity.
you gonna have a kid?
I don't know. We're working on getting a house soon, by building up our equity and our finances a little bit, and then we'll kind of decide from there. But yeah, and that's where we're at.
Are you guys gonna homeschool or are you guys gonna both work?
I don't know. We've definitely mentioned homeschooling a lot and mentioned a lot of the problems of the system. And, I was thinking about it too. Like, and there's some unique parameters here. Like our city school system, which I transferred to, is actually like super Hispanic now, and also kind of going down the shitter. And we
No
would
shit, huh?
huh? What
Do you like you've heard how many like people have poured across the border, right?
I know. And plus, they just
You think that's
multiply. Like
that's
they
actually how many it was? They're
oh,
like,
who
there's a
fucking
million
knows?
people on the way to the border. I'm like, I guarantee there are over 6 million people who have already made their way over the
6
border
million.
this year.
Well, plus they Hispanics in particular, they focus on family and they have a lot of kids and they work hard, so they multiply. Like they go fast. And
They do not work hard. That is a bullshit lie. They'll take a job,
well, that's working hard to
but
me.
they'll do it cheap. Okay, so like they'll fucking build a roof in a couple days, but how good a job did they do?
I think they have pride in their work, and I think they have
Yeah,
good
yeah,
craftsmanship.
yeah.
I don't know. I think they do pretty good. I don't think they're.
Yeah, did you ever hire a bunch of Mexicans to do a job?
I'm just not in a position to do so. But at the chicken farms where I work,
Yeah, I don't
there
want
are
to hear
Mexican.
about it because I did it firsthand,
Okay.
and they did a shit job.
Well, the ones that make it up to Michigan may not be as strong as the ones down here or something. I don't know. But oh shit, what
I
was I
was
gonna say?
hoping the Mexicans wouldn't come up here because it's so fucking cold, but they're up here now.
So we went to
Okay.
Chattanooga, which is like it's like a nicer city north of us. It's like in the mountains, and like Atlanta is like 50% black and like probably like 30-40% white and stuff like that, or maybe like, yeah. Meanwhile, Chattanooga is like the flip. Chattanooga is like 50% white or more, like 20-30 black, and then like others. And it's actually a really nice city. It's
Why are you bringing up demographics?
because it's important. Like it's important. It's interesting to see what
What's
cities.
important about it? I thought we were all the same.
You're obviously being sarcastic and baiting me, but
Yeah, I'm baiting you and saying it. Say it.
I mean, I'm just saying, like rationally, realistically, like different demographics have different implications. Different cultures have different implications, like different economic implications.
And,
You
and
know.
now I would like to do a callback to that conversation that you have with John, like the importance of religion. The first thing that the
Yeah.
internet did was kill religion.
Yeah. I
People
think.
don't have a unified theory about how to raise children or like what cultural values are, and now we get told what they are by the government.
Yeah. I kind of just want to like go out because like I feel like I could construct a pretty solid model. I was thinking just like push it forward, like flesh it out, push it forward. Just be like, hey, here it is. You don't have to use it, but here's a guide. And if you look at Christianity, people just use it because it's there. It's like, hey, this checks the boxes and kind of helps me. It kind of sucks, but it works. I
So
think
what
with
does that say about the way that Jesus died?
Jesus, I mean, he was a martyr. Like he was a victim, a martyr. Like yeah, but yet a sacrificial lamb. Like what do you mean?
What are you willing to give up to like speak the truth?
That's a good point. I don't know. Like
Because he gave up everything. He died,
well,
and he
it's
was
funny.
tortured the
Well,
entire time.
see, the thing about me is like if I was single, I would be much more willing to like give my life, and because it's just
So,
like,
so you're not Jesus. We can say that at least
well, yeah,
because he
exactly, because
gave up
But
everything.
Jesus was single. He didn't have a family. That would be a whole different
Well, I
thing.
mean,
I mean,
there are the arguments about whether or not Jesus slept with like the fucking whatever that harlot.
yeah, yeah, but if he did
It
sleep,
doesn't matter. And you can look at it from one perspective, but it's like the truth of the reality is like, what are you willing to give up? Because like, if you want to fight back against this, you have to give up everything. That's what war is. You die.
hmm,
You die for something. You're willing to die for something. You're saying, well, yeah, this is important, but like I'm not willing to die for it as
yeah,
far as like I don't have to sacrifice this.
it's one thing to be willing to die. And it's another thing to like throw yourself off a cliff like unnecessarily, right? It's about knowing when, and and I think for a lot of people, it's more effective to stay alive and fight the good fight. But I think there might be times where self-sacrifice and sacrificing your life is important, and
So
necessary.
what do you stand to lose right now?
I don't know. I mean, like, just everyone values life. Like, I value life. I don't, like I said, I don't want to throw a lot of life away necessarily. So, like, I'm living for myself, but then I'm also living for, my wife, like, and my family, and the potential for us to
Would
have.
you ever go to a protest?
Uh,
Would you go to a protest?
I think I would. Yeah, I think I would for the right cause. Yeah, I've been to some, but funny enough, it was when I was younger and went with this liberal girl I was dating.
Huh.
It was a liberal
Yeah,
protest.
that's how it starts.
I'm gonna
They
be, I'm
they
gonna be
gave
Antifa.
all the smart kids liberal girlfriends right away.
They give him a liberal girlfriend. You get a liberal girlfriend. You get a liberal girlfriend.
Did you realize that your first girlfriend was an art hoe, Jewish art hoe?
Jewish art home. Close enough,
You
man.
never. I bet you've never been in that fucking 4chan thread.
No, I don't think I have. That's funny.
No, it's not funny. It's weird.
It is. It's
A
also
lot of
weird.
us were in fucking Gate too.
Gate, gamer gate, pizza gate. That's
No,
crazy.
no, 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 not Gamergate. Gifted and Talented. That
Oh, that's
program.
what they called it. Yeah, yeah, I was in that. I don't know what they called it at our school. It was just honors or
Yeah,
AP or
you. I
English.
know you were fuck. I could fucking tell, dude. They fucking brainwashed you, bro. They took all the leaders. They found out like what makes the leader. They identified us, and then they fucked us up.
Yeah, yeah. I had a 4.0 until after high school, and then I had like a. I was as low as like a 1.8 or something in college. I stopped giving a fuck. I was like, fuck all this. But in high school, it wasn't that hard, and I didn't know better, and I was just like, yeah, good grades, whatever, focus on school. Oh
Well,
man,
now you do drugs and like you don't focus on like trying to get ahead. Like you could have been a fucking Bill Gates, I bet.
I still could. I mean, my Nectar project, like I have a lot of like AI projects and stuff. Like who knows? I could get swept up in a passion project and it could blow up. But you know, Bill Gates didn't become Bill Gates because of institutions so much as just his own like his own privilege and his own like ingenuity and his own drive. And I think I've got that. I think I've got a lot of what makes people like that. I think like Bill Gates, Elon Musk, Bezos, as shitty as some of them are in some ways. I think um, you know I think there's potential, but it's just I'm just at the whim. I work hard. I do what I can to try to stay inspired and look for opportunities. But I'm just at the end of the day, I'm just another person as well. So for now,
Why are you at a crossroads? Like, what do you actually want to do? Do you want to get rich, or do
um,
you want to change the world?
I don't. Yeah, I want to
Because
change
you
the
can't
world.
really
Like
do
I'm.
both.
Yeah, I'm not particularly driven to wealth. I don't have like like I don't have like a I don't need a huge house, a nice car. I kind of like to travel, but I'm not like I'm not like crazy hustlepreneur mode. And I just really it's just about quality of life. I just want to do something that I'm passionate about. I like working with technology. I like working with people. I want to change the world in the best way I can. I want to shape the world. I want to do good. That's just what motivates me. I just like that. I like contributing. I like being challenged. Those are the kind of things that drive. I don't get too sucked up into these notions about what could happen. I kind of just try to live it one day at a time, and like I said, just kind of look for inspiration around me and go with the flow. That seems to work so far. So fuck it, fuck it.